Okay, now I'm going to show you how to set up a click track. Most of the time when you're recording, it's a really good idea to use a click track. Most really high-end professional bands use click tracks. I've seen them used on almost every project I've ever been involved with recording-wise. The reason is, one, it keeps all the players really solid in terms of knowing what time is. Even the best drummers sometimes will drift a little bit if they don't have a good solid click track behind them. Another good reason for it is when you go in to edit things and take measures and pieces and block them together, your click track will lock up with your timeline. That way you can use grid mode in editing, which we'll talk about later, and block things together. So let's get in and show you how this works. So for a moment, I'm going to take you over to Pro Tools 6.0 that runs on Mac OS X and Windows XP. And the reason I'm doing that is to show you a really cool new plugin for creating a click track, and it's called the Click plugin. So now if you go to create a new track, you can create an auxiliary track. And once again, auxiliary tracks just allow audio to be fed through the Pro Tools mixer. You don't have to record it like you do with audio tracks. And what you could do is go to the Click plugin that you'll see in the plugin menu now. You could select the sound that you want to hear, like marimba. Adjust the level of the accented and unaccented click. And now if we put up our transport bar, you can see I have the click on already here. Now when we hit play, we have a click track, really easy to use, and another nice thing about the Pro Tools Click is that it's sample accurate as well. So this is a really great new amendment to Pro Tools. There are other software-based samplers. Native Instruments has a great one called Contact, and other companies are starting to make more and more software-based samplers for OS X as well. Now another way to set up a click track, we could use a drum machine. A lot of people have little external drum machines like this one here. You would set up your MIDI, so you'd run MIDI into the drum machine, and unless you needed to run some kind of MIDI out of here to talk back into Pro Tools in this case, you don't necessarily even have to take the output of the MIDI jack here and go into your Pro Tools environment in this case. So we have our drum machine, you run MIDI into it, you take one of the audio outputs, which will generate some kind of click sound, and run it into your Pro Tools interface, and then you're going to set up a track in Pro Tools to take this audio and run it through your mixer. So you'll hear that click through your headphones coming through the Pro Tools mixer. Let's show you how to do that. We're going to use that audio output of the drum machine, and that's going to come into Pro Tools, and let's say, for instance, you plug it into input 5. Then on the click track here, where you're trying to listen to the audio output of the drum machine, it's going to be patched into input 5. Now to MIDI trigger the drum machine, what you would do is you would go to your click options and you would select the drum machine. Now at this point, you would play your keyboard and listen for the sound that you want to use as your click sound, and that click sound should be coming back into your click track. So that's how you would use an external drum machine, or in the case of a sampler or some kind of keyboard, any external device, this is how you would set that up. Now for more information about keyboard routing and setup, we have a whole section designated for that. The next thing I want to show you is how to use loops as a click track. A lot of people are doing loop-based production these days. They might be locking it up to stuff they've already recorded, or they'll start their songs based on a loop. So let's show you how to do that in the next section.